What's up? This is your man Dre Mac, and on today's video, we gotta talk about the huge dub that Jonathan Majors and the defense team got today. I'm telling you, today is a good day if you're Jonathan Majors. I can't wait to get into all the juicy details, but the real question is, all right, so we're going to get into everything. And, thank you so very much to Danny Does Law. She came on to the podcast, The Blurred AF, with me, Mika G, and Blue, and was absolutely amazing. I advise anyone, go and check that out. Oh, it's in the description up there. Just click that link. But let's just get to the highlights of everything, because I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this. All right, so remember, all this information is coming from Danny Does Law, who is in the courtroom, shared all the information that was available to us. So let's get into it. Let's go. Let's find out everything that happened in court at day number 9 of the Jonathan Majors trial. Let's go. Let's get into it. The DA met with the driver yesterday with an interpreter, and just this morning via email at 9:07 a.m. let the defense know via a Brady disclosure. Gaffey is allowing a DV expert witness to testify with very limited parameters for what she can and cannot say, including but not limited to not discussing psychological diagnosis or battered women syndrome. Both Khloe and her Billy badass boyfriend testifies it seems favorable to the defense in not only establishing doubt for how and when Stephanie's injuries were sustained, but for her high level of intoxication she ran into a wall while exiting Lucy's for the cab. Both Khloe and Billy testify that they have not seen or heard from Stephanie since March 25, 2023. They are not friends. Video shows Khloe hugs Stephanie cheek to cheek on the right side 3 to 5 times with a white shirt on, and testifies she did not ever see or notice any blood, bleeding, or injuries to Stephanie's right hand or right ear. No blood transferred onto her white t-shirt either. The prosecution called the 4th witness, Naveed Sawar, the driver of the black Cadillac Escalade. Your interpreter arrives and sits side by side on the witness side. Witness answers all questions in Urdu with little exception. Direct examination. Driver for the Black Lane car service for the past 2 years. Most of his clients are with the Amorites business class. March 24th through 25th, 2023. Driver identifies client as Jonathan Majors. Driver says Prayer S set up the car for him. Car was a Cadillac Escalade, and he picked them up at probably 5 p.m. in Chelsea. When asked who was with him, Sawar says a girl with him. When asked about their interaction between one another, Sawar testifies it was good. Sawar testifies that he took them to BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, and stayed in the car outside. After quite a while, they came out. When asked again about their interaction, he says it was good. Sawar testified that neither seemed intoxicated. He then took them to the Japanese restaurant where they stayed for about 90 minutes. When asked again about their interaction, he says it was good. Sawar then testified, then I went to leave them at the house, referencing the next stop on the trip. At 12:40 a.m., I was taking them to their house. When we reached Canal and Bowery Street, the girl said, I want to see something on your phone. Sawar states, I was looking straight, and the boy said there was nothing, but the girl was insisting. When asked if he saw what happened next, he says, I was feeling that something was going on in the back seat. The boy wanted to get rid of the girl, so he opened the door. The boy came out of the car at Canal and Century Street. Video played at that point that Jonathan exits the vehicle. Sawar testifies to the following. Saw that they were fighting amongst themselves. He was trying to get rid of her. He was saying, leave me alone, I want to go. He was not doing anything. She was doing everything. I do remember the boy pushing her back into the car to get rid of her. Then they both left. Sarwar testified that after they both exited the car, he called his booker and she advised him to wait for the phone call, and she called him back. The booker eventually said he should just wait for them. He said he took a right turn on Citrian Street and parked my car on the left side. He also said that when he looked again, he saw them standing on the side and the girl again was yelling at the boy and they were having an argument. Sarwar testified, I had a feeling that the girl had hit the boy earlier because of the way she was fighting and the sounds produced. The witness was advised by the people not to offer his personal opinion, but no moves to strike the testimonies were made. When asked, Sarwar could not readily identify Jonathan on the surveillance video and did not remember them coming to the car a third time. He did not remember what Stephanie looked like, and says he only recognized Jonathan from appearing in court last Friday. Cross-examination. Sarwar confirms there was no blood found in his car. He testified that he didn't remember seeing Jonathan in the third row of the Escalade. Defense rest. Witness number 6, Khloe Zer, testified on March 24th through the 25th, was hanging with friends to celebrate their birthdays. Zola admitted to having a few drinks and that she was intoxicated, but I don't believe I had any problems understanding. Zola testified that she noticed that they were talking to someone that I did not know. When asked how she first encountered Stephanie McMahon Hemsley III, she says they spoke for a few minutes. When asked when she first saw Jonathan, she stated he proceeded to pass right past us and around the corner. Zola said she didn't recall Stephanie saying anything, just that she was flustered, crying, and upset. Zoller says she proceeded to follow them around the corner but didn't recall what Stephanie was saying. She says they were on the corner a long time, 30 minutes. Zoller testified that the driver met them outside and they thought they were going to send them both home. She says then heard them running out of the car and that they both were upset, very upset. Zoller said that she and her friends were trying to figure out that they could send Stephanie and where they could send Jonathan. Zoller testified that she entered the car with Stephanie and tried to get her home, but invited her to the party but didn't recall her response. She says they took an Uber and she and Stephanie sat in the back and Stephanie seemed calmer. Zoller stated that Stephanie told her to order champagne and they got rounds of tequila shots. Then asked Zoller stated that Stephanie had a lighter, happier demeanor. She says she didn't notice any injuries on Stephanie, but that Lucy's is dark inside. She also stated she noticed no injuries on Stephanie when they first met earlier that night. Zoller testified that she and Stephanie are not friends and do not keep in contact. She says the last time I saw her that night, March 25th, 2023. Cross-examination. Zoller showed pictures that they took at Lucy's. She said she had about 3 to 4 drinks before she met Stephanie. Zoller testified she did not observe any injuries on Stephanie when they first met. And then when she hugged Stephanie, she did not complain of any pain or transfer any blood onto Khloe. Zoller testified she observed tears on her face when she first saw Jonathan. Zoller did not recall hearing Stephanie yelling and says she watched him from a distance. Zoller does not recall Jonathan yelling, but says she may have used terms that she heard Stephanie yelling at Jonathan. Videos played of surveillance at the 3 Lafayette Street apartment building with sound. Zoller testified that Jonathan and Stephanie were in about 30 seconds before they both came out running. At Lucy, Zoller says that Stephanie told her the credit card belonged to Jonathan, but she couldn't recall exactly how she said it. As respects the bucket of ice on the table, she doesn't recall which finger or any injury on Stephanie's finger. When asked to recollect vaping and smoking with Stephanie, Khloe said potentially and I believe so. She testified she did not see everything Stephanie did that night and that she did not recall if Stephanie indicated any pain while holding Khloe's hand. There are a few photos shown to emphasize the fact that Stephanie was against them with her right ear and no blood transferred onto the clothes. Surveillance shows that Khloe confirms that she walked with Stephanie to the door of Lucy's so she could catch a taxi. Zoller testifies that she did not recall seeing Stephanie walking to the wall on the way out. Video was played of them approaching the exit, and the fumbling happens by Stephanie. At the exit, surveillance videos show that them hugging one another right cheek to cheek 3 different times, and Zoller is holding Stephanie's right hand. Zoller states that she met with the DA twice, once in April, once last week. She says of Jonathan and Stephanie, they were touching physically, but I do not recall anything of that nature, meaning assault. Redirect. Zoller did not look at Stephanie's finger, did not recall seeing head or fingers being hit or Stephanie falling. So you guys have heard everything from the transcripts from Danny Does Law. Nothing was taken out of context. Nothing was missing. This is everything that we heard. Let me just break down some of the things that really caught off to me. That's really the highlights of what happened on the 9th day of Jonathan Majors' trial. Number 1, the friend Khloe that we see in the video, she did not witness any blood. Even though that they said there was a cut behind Stephanie's ear and their blood and everything, there was not blood on this girl's shirt, her clothing, anything. And she didn't notice any pain, even though she was holding Stephanie's hand. Now remember, her hand was supposed to be fractured, broke, ET looking, whatever the case may be. There was never any indication of any pain or anything from her. So honestly, where did she get those injuries? Especially what we heard from the detectives on yesterday about the lying that was going on with the NYPD and how they arrested Jonathan Majors on false allegations. What is to say that this girl, just when she ran into the wall and stumbled and hit herself, that's just when she, she cut herself, or when she went home and she threw up on this man's bed. There's so much more into that, but it is now known without a shadow of a doubt from the witness itself and the driver that Stephanie was not assaulted by Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is completely innocent without a shadow of a doubt, because the driver said there was nothing. She was the aggressor. He was trying to get her off of him. We heard about the video of him taking off running. We heard about, her chasing him 5 or 6 blocks. This is not the behavior of someone who is a victim of domestic violence. I've been saying this for so long. Everybody was so concerned about those text messages, and yes, Jonathan Major what he should do once this thing is over, and I'm saying with all the information now and with the driver's testimony, this should be a sure shot victory for Jonathan Majors without a shadow of a doubt, and he should be found innocent of all charges. The point blank period. When the driver says, I witnessed her chasing him, I didn't see, him do anything. It was her, and the whole psycho girl thing that we heard now comes into validity now. Now we understand why he called her psycho girl. So to me, this case should be dismissed, innocent of all charges, walk free. Now, going back to the text message that everybody is still harping on, what I would suggest, if I was part of this new PR team, because don't go get them suckers again, leave them suckers where they at. Hire me as your PR man. I got you, John. But if I was part of this PR team, the first thing that I'd do is I would get with a suicide prevention team or suicide awareness, and I would campaign hard about the struggles that I've had, in this particular situation, and how it's so important, not only for just men, but black men, where mental health and, getting therapy and help is so taboo. That's the first thing I'll be talking about is let's go get some help. I'm aware of this, and I want to get as much help and be a voice as possible. That's the thing that I would do. Be a witness. Go and help people. Rebuild your career that way. You know what I mean? Because we all suffer, and a lot of us, as I personally have, suffered in silence when it comes to mental health. So what better, what better is, instead of going to the army or whatever, Jonathan Majors, you be the voice. You be the person that said mental health is real, and suicide and all of this is real. And we don't want anybody pruned out the timeline from the, by their own accord. So that's something that I was most definitely talk about. But we have one more witness that's coming up. Now, we've had Khloe, the young lady from the Lafayette building, say she didn't see anything and that they just met and they're not even friends. So, and remember, these was the prosecution's main people, and every single one of them flipped. Today is a good day.
Damn right, it was a good day.
Jonathan Majors, I believe this case from when I first heard it and how flimsy it was. And shame on the NYPD, shame on Alvin Braggs, because this girl was clearly the aggressor, and you decided to prosecute Jonathan Majors instead of going after Stephanie McMahon Helmsley III. Shame on you for that. This is your man Dre Mac. Tell me what you guys think. Put it in the comment section below, and don't forget to go back and watch that live with Danny Does Law. Absolute perfect information, all kinds of good stuff. Is wonderful. Make sure you guys check that out. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your day.